If you have been struggling to get sales from your design work or understanding what you really need to do to make money, I have the workshop for you. On September 23rd, I'm hosting my first ever Profitable Designer Workshop. This one-day, 3-hour workshop is only $97, but I have a discount for all my podcast listeners. Go to carinagardnercourses.com/profit and put in the code podcast for $50 off. I can't wait to see you more profitable. Welcome to the Make and Design Podcast. I'm your host, Carina Gardner. On this podcast, we're unraveling the everyday joys and dilemmas of design, making, and business. For makers who want to be designers and for designers who are makers, this is your inside scoop to help you grow your business and bring more creativity to your life. So many of you out there want to become surface pattern designers, and it is a very sexy name, and I want to help you get there. But there are some serious design mistakes that I see happening all the time that I'm hoping will help you as you are moving forward in your journey as a surface pattern designer. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about these mistakes, how we can avoid them, how we can become next level designers. Okay, right? Like if you've taken some digital coursework before, you've gotten to a certain level, right? I'm interested in you becoming next level designers, because if we can get to the next level, that's the paying level, you guys. If you haven't been paid yet for your design work, it's because you've just made it to level 1. We've got to move you up to the next level, and I want to get you there, okay? All right, let's talk about these mistakes. The first one is designing with the same scale all the time. You guys, I see this all the time out of designers where we've picked a certain scale. And when I mean scale, I mean size. So if you are designing a flat surface and we've got multiples of the same flower, we're just going to use that as an example, all over. And then we create the second fabric and it is the same size, like the images all are the same size. That is designing in the same scale. And when we do that, we are doing a disservice to the people who are using that textile or fabric. And we're also doing a disservice to our own credibility as a designer. We have to produce different scales, different sizes, so that first of all, they go together well. Like my expertise is in quilting cottons, and so we're always looking at different scales there. But even if you are working in home decor or gift bags or some other kind of surface out there, we have to be cognizant of those different scales. If we are working in a lot of different scales, that will make our look more sophisticated and better to use. It's just better to use for the customer, okay? So pay attention. Are you using the same scale? Or maybe this is an even worse thing. Maybe you're only using 2 scales, because that's what I see designers do. They'll know that the first fabric in the line is a little bit bigger and then the second fabric is a little bit smaller. And then there are no other scales. So I want you using a lot of scales. It will make your work look so much better and it'll just be usable for your end customer, okay? All right, that's mistake number 1. Number 2, let's talk about how tight or loose all of your patterns are, okay? If you are a surface pattern designer and you are laying out your repeats for your design work, one of the things I see very often is that you tend to be more towards either a loose or a tight pattern designer. So what do I mean by this? So if I have a circle and the circle next to it is really close to the first circle, that is called a tight negative space, right? We're getting everything nice and tight in there. If we have a huge, like maybe 4 or 5 inches, you can't see me on YouTube if you're listening on the podcast, but if we have 4 or 5 inches between those 2 circles, that is a loose negative space, right? So one of the problems are that we as designers tend towards a kind of spacing. And it might be loose, it might be tight, somewhere in between, but we will consistently use that kind of spacing because we get very comfortable with that spacing. We like the way its end product gets used. And I am here to tell you, you've got to mix it up. We've got to mix up that spacing, because if you are spacing everything exactly the same, there will be no diversity in the fabric or the textile or whatever else that you might be designing. So I need you to move forward and think smarter than that. And when you start spacing things, think, the last fabric I designed or the last pattern I designed, was that like similarly spaced? And if it was, I need you to pull out and make it way more spaced out, or I need you to tighten it in and make it tighter. Okay. So change your spacing, because that's going to be huge. All right. Last one. This is an interesting one. This is probably the most sad mistake. Sad mistake that I see designers doing. And that is designing with the purpose of only one medium in mind. We talk about this in design boot camps all the time, because it really actually distresses me. And very often, I have to do it with my own daughters who are doing design work. They'll be working on it in Photoshop. And I'm like, why are you working on that in Photoshop? They're like, well, I'm doing it for this thing. And I'm like, but what if you need to use it later for this other thing? And they're like, oh yeah, I didn't think of that. Which is why so often you will see me emphasize, especially in my programs with my designers, we need to be designing things in Illustrator. It's a vector-based program, and it allows us to really use those designs in multiple ways. If I'm going to design a flower, you better believe it's going to show up not just as a fabric line, it's going to show up in all the other mediums that I'm designing in. And that is good design work. And so often, especially surface pattern designers, you aren't thinking like that. You're thinking about just the textile, or you're thinking about just the gift bag or the one contract you have, when the truth is you should be designing with repurposing in mind. I talk about this a lot in my design boot camps, because that's what good designers are doing. Now you might hear this and you're like, yeah, I'm going to repurpose everything. And I'm here to tell you, we go in a little deeper, and then the use of practice on this is even deeper than that. So you're going to want to come to a boot camp so you can hear me talk about it. Design Suite members know that this is a very practical application, and we're thinking about it as we are designing. We're being smart, we're being creative, but we know how to make money off of the thing that we're doing, right? That's what we're trying to do. And when we are thinking about a single medium as we design, we are not thinking smart and strategically, which is what all designers who are actually making money in this design career are doing. They are thinking smart and strategically. And I really want that for you. So I hope I get to see you at one of my design boot camps. Now, if you have a second, you are going to want to download our very popular free PDF. This free PDF really goes through, and we're demystifying a lot of things around design. So this PDF is called the 7 mistakes. Oh, I have to look it up, you guys. 7 tips nobody will tell you about becoming a surface pattern designer. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to give you the link for that below. I would love for you to hear more about that, read more about that, because you will find that the people in my programs, they're doing differently than what you see out there. And that's because good designers, it takes work, it takes practice, and it takes mentorship. And I want to help you get there. So I can't wait to see you either in a design boot camp or hopefully downloading this PDF so you can learn about the tips that nobody is talking about. And I can't wait to see you there. Hey, did you know that you can visit me at makeanddesign.com to learn more about this podcast and join my VIP group for weekly freebies? I can't wait to see you there.